What's good, y'all? It's Texture Fire. We back with another reaction video and shit. Let's get to it.
Sonic the Hedgehog is a byproduct of black culture. That's it. Send tweet. Mic drop. Whatever you feel is necessary to do, please go ahead and do it. Now, let me elaborate on that point, because recently a Twitter thread by the user Sock Tiger fell onto my timeline strongly asserting the claim that Sonic would not exist without the black community. And while initially, as you should always be, I was skeptical of their claim, seeing a claim that bold would have to be backed by some serious evidence. Now, I have done my research, and I have gazed through some of the franchise's highlights, and yeah, I would come to the conclusion that bro was spitting. The majority of this franchise embracement of black American culture comes from what is often referred to as the golden era. I'm talking about that prime LeBron run. I'm talking about the Seahawks that won went to the Super Bowl back to back. I'm talking about those type of numbers. I'm talking about prime, the most elite of athlete performances as a comparison point. And that prime for Sonic the Hedgehog, whether you like it or not, you could make the argument that culturally Sonic has become a lot more significant and a lot more popular in the general zeitgeist, you know, through the avenue of movies, the comic books. But regardless, if we're talking about strictly in the financials, as in when he's putting out his games, as in when his games are selling, that period is going to be that golden age period from Sonic 1 on the Genesis all the way to Sonic Adventure 2 on the Dreamcast. That is commonly referred to and understood as Sonic's critical peak. This is not a non-negotiable point. Let me cook. Okay. See, Sonic's original classic design came from Sega's desire to create a new mascot to stand up against the red Jumpman dominating the competition. While they experimented with several animals, the final decision came down to a hedgehog, partly because of its ability to roll into a ball. When it came to designing the character, Naoto Oshima suggested that Sonic's boots/shoes ended up as red as inspiration for Michael Jackson. In an interview with Brandon Sheriff, when asked, it's a cliched question, but was that why Sonic's main colors are red, white, and blue? Oshima states in the full quote, well, he's blue because that's Sega's more or less official company color. His shoes were inspired by the cover of Michael Jackson's Bad, which contrasted heavily between white and red, that Santa Claus type color. I also thought that red went well for a character who can run fast when his legs are spinning. Furthermore, this is not the end of Jackson's contributions to the franchise. In 1989, Jackson had teamed up with Sega to create a little video game known as Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. While the game is unrelated to this video topic at hand, the connection between Sega and Jackson was at that point established. See, out of Jackson's love for video games, he was allowed to work on a few of the game's tracks. Now, this is a very, very, very vague and unknowing situation, but allow me to at least attempt to articulate what occurred. Now, the validity of what songs/notes each were utilized after this collaboration has been very confusing to follow. Brad Buxier, a composer who is a close affiliate with Jackson, stated in an interview that Jackson did in fact have work completed in some way, shape, or form, even causing one of the creators of Sonic to chime in on the topic, being Yuji Naka, of course. And keep in mind that this is a light overview of the situation that I may or may not have missed a couple of details on while writing this video. So if you really want to have a thorough breakdown of the situation, I'm going to link below an amazing video by Chow Mix that details the situation far better than I care or have time to do so. Now, I already hear you typing in the comment section down below that just because Michael Jackson, the king of pop, had some inspiration, doesn't mean that black culture influenced Sonic in any meaningful way. And I hear you. And to that point, I'd like to ask you, dear viewer, have you heard of a band called New Edition? Yeah. Now, see, New Edition was an R&B group founded in 1978 with the intent to be the new edition of the Jackson 5. And because I know there are non-Americans and like non-cultured people, I understand, you know, it's like we're now in like Gen A, and like people are gonna really watch this video and have no idea what the Jackson 5 is. But all you need to know about Jackson.
Yeah, it's crazy. Some people don't know who the Jackson 5 is, but it makes sense. I mean, they're not from America, and they're also probably super young, so low-key makes sense.
Jackson 5 is it's the same Jackson 5 that contained Michael Jackson, right? That's all we need to know. So it's a little bit ironic, but regardless, its initial members included Ricky Belt, Michael Blevins, Ronnie DeVoe, Bobby Brown, and Ralph Tresvant. I probably butchered that one. I'm sorry. I was never a Ralph fan. And to sound like an old head for a bit, so back in my day, these cats had hits. Can you stand the rain? Mr. Telephone Man, if it isn't love, why?
Mr. Telephone Man, there's something wrong with my line. When I dial my baby's number, I get it every time. Yeah, bro, that was one of them ones. Y'all know about that.
Why does it hurt so bad? Now,
Now, if it isn't love, why do I feel this way? Why does she stay on my mind? And if it isn't love, why does it hurt so bad? Make me feel so sad inside. See, bro, that's hits, bro. Y'all don't know nothing about that.
as all groups unfortunately do so, they had a little bit of a falling out, leading to Bobby going solo, releasing his single "Every Little Step I Take" in 1989.
Every little step I take, you will be there. Every little step I make, we'll be together. Y'all don't know nothing about this. Y'all don't know nothing about this.
Why is it important? Well, let's take a short listen to the song. Okay. Now I ask you again, dear viewer. Have you heard of a little level in Sonic 1? You know the one you guys don't like. I believe it's called Spring Yard Zone. See, both these songs utilize the same mentally suggesting, right? I'm making the suggestion that Spring Yard samples the Brown hits. However, I already hear the comments down below. Right. Okay, but who cares? Scrapyard Zone is such a nothing burger level. Who cares? And I hear you, and I would agree with you to an extent. But see, have you ever heard of a level called Chemical Plant? Where the
Bro, I used to play this level on my Kindle Fire all the time. Sonic the Hedgehog 2. This was my favorite game. I could never beat this level as a little kid though, but I used to always play this on my Kindle Fire. God, this just brought back memories.
Now, with that in mind, let me remind or teach you about this little the section from this little artist. You might not have heard of him. If you listen to pop music, I wouldn't expect you to know. I believe his name was something. It was some simple, some elegant, some royal. I think it was Prince. See, from a song called Grand Slam, released in 1988, predating Sonic 2 by about 4 years. 4 years, you hear that? That's the start.
I ain't gonna lie, I never really tapped into Prince. I ain't gonna lie. I only know Purple Rain, and I don't even know how that goes. But all I can remember is my fourth grade teacher, Miss Speller. When Prince passed away, she was so sad about it. That's the only thing I really know about Prince, and he was super short, and he got bitches. That's all I know. That's all I know about Prince. I ain't gonna lie.
Of Sonic, in case you're wondering. But hell, let's do it one more time. I know you hear the similarities, but now in retrospect, I do believe it's kind of funny that both Prince and Michael Jackson had some influences in the early day of Sonic, considering recent world events. Now, meeting at Stardust Speedway. This stage is one of the most iconic of the franchise, as it is remembered as the fight between Metal and Sonic for the first time, their first altercation. Peak Fiction was born here. Now, with this level as iconic as it is, you bet your ass there's some black magic in there. Yeah, pun intended, buddy. Now, across the 4 versions, because trust me, this was a pain in the ass to break down. There are 4 versions of Stardust Speedway that appear in Sonic CD, released in 1993. Now, across the 4 samples, we're going to break these down. There are numerous amounts of samples. Let's break them down piece by piece. You have vocal samples from Me and Baby Brother by War in 1973. We have the drums from Jungle Jazz released in 1975 by Kool and the Gang. Vocal samples from 1883's Fantastic Freaks at the Dixie by DJ Grand Wizard Theodore and the Fantastic Five.
Turn it up! Say turn it up!
Come on. Another vocal sample from 1984's AJ Scratch by Curtis Blow.
Hit it!
Another vocal sample by Jocelyn Brown's 1985's Love Gonna Get Ya. Sound effects from Run Joe's 1886's Chuck Brown and the Soul Searchers. And keep in mind that these are only some of the many samples that are present within Stardust Speedway. However, I would like to draw attention to one example in particular. The usage of the record scratch from DJ Grand Wizard Theodore and the Fantastic Five. See, the Fantastic Five were one of the first rap groups in history, at least to form with our knowledge. And even if you want to discard that point, along with being one of the first to form, they were also one of the first inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. DJ Grand Wizard in particular is important because he is often cited as the founder of the record scratch, but also being cited as one of the holy trinity of DJs within the early period of hip-hop. Hippity hop. Now this is important because, as we all know, the early days of Sonic was represented as having edge, being a free spirit, all of which are themes that are commonly incorporated into this early 80s era of hip-hop. And in fact, once again, tying into that world event quota, if you remember on Kendrick's like that, he had a very line about my crash out, my crash out say fuck rap this my crash out say fuck rap this Melly Mel if I have to. Now why is that important? Because Melly Mel was a member of the Fantastic Five.
Wow.
See, y'all thought
I didn't even know that. Wow, that's crazy. I gotta give my props to Kendrick, even though I think Drake a better artist. You get your props. I'm still not playing your music unless it's like poetic justice. I'm gonna keep it simple. Or and maybe get out there and the teams are let you know all the stars above. And all the stars with SZA. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Those are the only two songs that's getting played by you. Simple.
y'all thought I put Kendrick in the thumbnail just for clicks, buddy. Nah. But on that point, see, hip-hop in this era, Sonic was known for its edge and attitude, and what a better way to represent that through the additional lens of hip-hop. However, Sonic's not the only one who benefited from this incorporation of sorts.
Knuckles. Yes, Knuckles has wigs/dreads. Yes. Simple.
We're gonna be quick about this one because it's been done to death. We know about the jazzy instrumentation that is present on Knuckles' theme, Unknown for Me. Originating in Sonic Adventure 1, the track marks a collaboration between singer Marlton Sanders along with Dread Fox. Now, you're probably sitting there like, who the hell is Dread Fox? Now, Dread Fox, you know him because he's the best video game rapper of all time. Oh, rapper. This song has been reoccurring in the franchise for damn near to this very day as Knuckles' defining theme. I mean this so genuinely, right? Apart from this thesis in this video, can you point to me a single theme Knuckles has had in this entire franchise that has rivaled the greatness and just sheer vibratry of Unknown for Me? I don't think you can. Matter of fact, I'm willing to put down a bounty, a $10 bounty to anyone who give me a theme that's better than Unknown for Me from Knuckles at the time of this video. So at the time I'm recording this is like December 19th, 2024. I need a better one. If you can't do that, you're cooked. But regardless, Unknown for Me did receive a remix in Sonic Adventure 2 featuring Hunnit P. Now, Hunnit P is known for his contributions to Knuckles' rap songs to Sonic Adventure 2. And let's be real, they're all bangers. End of discussion. I do not care if it comes across as corny and dated to you. These songs are about as eternal to me as 93 Till Infinity by Mischief Souls, okay? At least Pumpkin Hill is gonna spin at least once every October, okay? It gets spooky every day in October. My torpedo got a church with a blower, J-Cat. Why do I keep saying that? I shouldn't have to explain to you why Knuckles has almost always been affiliated with black culture. I mean, literally, he has dreadlocks. Like they're referred to as dreads. Like let's not keep it twisted. These are dreadlocks or Knuckles. I'm not going to entertain the artist discussion of, oh, but if Knuckles was human or Sonic was human, that's not the point of this video. My point has been making that black culture has been within this franchise from its earliest days, and in fact has positively influenced Sonic's music and his design, because those are two of the most well-known things and well-talked about things. Regardless of the game's quality, you can almost always admit that Sonic games are going to have a phenomenal soundtrack start to end. Unless you're Sonic Frontiers. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And Forces. No, Lost World got some hits. Lost World does have some hits. Okay. Back on topic. Now, we can mention the pretty obvious uses of Malcolm X and Sonic Rushes wrapped in black, but the portion reciting too black, too strong, too black, too strong, right? And the point I'm making here is that, no, this has always been within the franchise. See, and while this video is designed to point out the many influences that black culture's had on the franchise, let me remind you, this is not meant to erase the other cultural influences within the franchise. The one that comes to mind the fastest is probably Rouge the Bad's design, originating from Latin American woman inspirations being J-Lo, right? Among other things, right? And there are other musical influences in this franchise, but I made this video with the intent to highlight that Sonic has always been enhanced by the incorporation of black culture within the franchise. This is not a political statement. This is not bait. This is my genuine feelings regarding the topic. I want to, again, shout out Shox Tiger for making this thread, as I would have never thought to embark on this adventure. Sonic is fire. I'm gonna keep it real with you. And I guess finally, and more personal things, I genuinely hope you enjoyed the video. And I don't know, leave a like if you want it. I don't really care.
Well, yeah, this is the end of the video. Yes, Sonic is inspired by black culture and all that. And yes, I did sing a couple songs. They probably weren't good. I'm not rewatching this video. I'm not re-looking at what I sung. So if you don't like it, I don't care. Hey, simple as that. Hey, if you know, you know. Bro.